I'm strong, you know.
Hey there, everybody! Seth here! With the fucking... Well, not really entirely unexpected. I think I definitely pointed this out at the end of the last upload. Here's an Unlimited Izanami! Detailed breakdown showcase. Because it was requested. So we're gonna be sitting here, not many, I think, so from what I've been told and what I've seen, I was originally going to do these way back when I was releasing my Unlimited mods, and then just kind of add Izanami and 9 on top of it, because I don't think anyone really needs one of Ragna, but if everyone wants one of Ragna, I can make one of those too, but I think Ragna in this game is pretty self-explanatory between the new Dead Spike follow-up and having Belial Edge still instead of Nightmare Edge. In any case, I went... Apparently, the other videos don't go super into detail. They basically just talk about obvious stuff, like, in Izanami's case, these. Unlimited teleports, the obvious permanent shield she has. So, I went in, I looked at both Izanamis, and the good thing about Unlimited Izanami and 9 is that, considering the both different working files that I can access with Cheat Engine, I can actually have an Unlimited Izanami and a normal Izanami on screen at the same time to actively compare the two when necessary, so that's perfect. Oh god. Oh yeah, I've dragged this on long enough, motherfucker. I always do that. In any case, this will be a detailed look, as in I looked into the scripting files of the character, compared the two side by side, and checked for every noticeable and noteworthy change I could, and listed them all down. We're going to be going through all of that right here, right now. I will say an important thing to note about 9 and Izanami. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident that given some differences in certain attacks with the two, they might be based, an important thing to note about the Unlimited is they might still be based around their 1.0 releases, so technically, in theory, this is release Izanami, when she was more overpowered. Same with 9, so release 9 was fucking insanely jank. But I don't have 1.0 files, obviously, to compare that to. I did not have Steam CF at that time. So, with that little disclaimer out of the way, or not really a disclaimer, just something to consider. Glad we're doing Izanami first, because I ran it through a random number generator, and 9's change list is disgustingly long, and it made me actually semi-sick looking at all the stuff they did to her. So, fortunately, we get to look at second best girl Izanami first. How long did I drag this intro out to? 3 minutes, yep. 3 minutes and 40 seconds, that's a new record, okay. Get on with it, Seth. So, to start things off, Unlimited Izanami here has 15,500 health. For some reason I noticed every Unlimited character, or by every, I mean the 3 that are in this game by default, they got 5,000 extra health. And I guess that makes sense because 9 and Izanami are pretty major characters. Ragna used to have 13,000, and he got buffed up to 15,000. Slightly less than 9 and Izanami, but still more than he used to have by a very drastic margin. That's 50% more health than Ragna normally has. So, on top of that, Unlimited Izanami's character combo rate is actually 70 from 60. I'm not really, I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to give an explanation of what character combo rate is. If you want to know what character combo rate is in this game, I suggest looking that up yourself. But higher is better. And, apparently all the Unlimiteds share this trait in this game, so since I mentioned I'm going back and editing my older Unlimiteds a little bit to be more satisfied with some of them, all the Unlimiteds all my mods will be scaled up to combo rate 70 to match the obvious CF Unlimiteds currently present in the game. In addition to a higher character combo rate, Unlimited Izanami actually has a 10% damage increase. Notice by her 5A doing 330 damage, while we can't have a damage, counter up for player 2 here, I don't think, but, I need to turn off the shield. Actually, turning off the shield wouldn't help either, because without the shield, she's in danger state, which automatically makes her take more damage, so, just take my word for it that, normal Izanami's 5A jab does 300 damage instead of 330. In addition, a staple since CP when overdrive was introduced, Unlimited Izanami's overdrive lasts 10 seconds. Doesn't matter if she's at full health, doesn't matter if she's at low health, it's 10 seconds. That's longer than the average overdrive at low health all around, so that's definitely a massive improvement. Her walk, dash, and air dash speed are all increased by... I'm pretty sure all of these are actually upped from... by 30%. It's like a 1.3 times increase, so... it's probably pretty moderately noticeable, probably when they're walking forward especially. You can see that Unlimited Izanami definitely has a little more hustle. And the air dash especially, that's going to be an easy one to compare. Just a bit more distance there when she air dashes, which helps her be more aggressive, which Izanami definitely needs to be able to be more aggressive, for sure. Now, a funny thing about Izanami is that she's probably the only Unlimited in BlazBlue to not necessarily have her Unlimited effects active by default. Let me just check to be sure here. Yeah, so she's actually not able to just default, for example, normal Izanami here in Overdrive. She doesn't have to switch to active mode to use, say, oh shit, 4D. Izanami still has her active and normal modes, and she needs to be in active mode to use her shot-based attacks. So I did find that kind of odd. Does Overdrive fix that? Yes, Overdrive does say. So her Overdrive actually works as normal, for the most part. There's one additional detail I'll go over at the very end of the video, pretty much, because we always save Overdrive changes for the last. But yeah, so her Overdrive effects actually aren't active by default, which is an interesting note, because like I said, every other Unlimited in the series has, in CP and onward, has had their Overdrive active by default, and that typically covers a lot of the changes they did for later characters, too. Yes, now to address the elephant in the room. Unlimited Izanami starts the round with Shield of Dreams automatically active, and as per usual, takes 2 hits to break, and she goes into danger state afterwards. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. Yeah, she goes into danger state after she loses her barrier, like normal. I read somewhere, supposedly, that she isn't affected by danger state a long time ago. That is not true. She is indeed affected by the danger state penalty. So, her shield is both a blessing and a curse in a way. More of a blessing because obviously she can just eat the first 2 hits you do, which will actually just beat out most wake-up reversals. So even with, like a super or anything like that, Izanami can just armor right through it and be more tilting than she supposedly is. I've never actually fought Izanami online because I haven't played netplay on this game at all. Save for once with a friend of mine, so I don't have any experience with that, but I am well aware of how tilting it probably is to fight a good Izanami player. An add-on to the permanent Shield of Dreams is that because Shield of Dreams is always active, Bulwark 623B is always usable. And using Bulwark doesn't get rid of your shield, she'll just summon it back once the move is already done. Something I didn't test beforehand, can you actually punish her for that before her shield comes back? Yes, you can. Okay, so if you block Bulwark, you can hit a combo on her, kind of. And one more thing about Bulwark for the moment. Oh, actually, that's all we need to talk about for Bulwark for right now. For right now, we'll come back to Bulwark. There's like a couple changes to address with Bulwark. Okay, and now something really interesting that I'm sure none of you actually knew prior to this, including myself, that I examined. So, normally when Izanami... I'll turn off the barrier for this so you can actually see here. Normal Izanami, you know, when she's in float state... Seems to block everything. So, normal Izanami, you typically just block her however you want. Is 6B an overhead? Yes, it is. You can just block her however you are. If you're crouching and she's floating, you can block her crouching, even if she uses her 6B move. Generally, just holding back is the way to go when she's pressuring you from float. Unlimited Izanami check this shit out. Crouch blocking. And that's because while Unlimited Izanami is in float state, every normal move she does, every single one from her 2A to everything else is considered an overhead, so you have to block her high when she's floating. This kind of shook me a little realizing it, because I'm like, holy shit, really? You can just do fricking, like... No, she can't really micro jump. Oh yeah, she can. Just micro jump, float, and just 2A for an overhead. Obviously, this adds quite a bit to her, just from it existing. I don't really know what more to say on it than that, so I'll just move on. Okay, getting on to her more detailed normal changes, and yes, there are detailed normal changes, but, there's, not many of them. Because typically when Unlimited, they don't tend to change the character's normals that often. Aside from, like, Unlimited Ragna's 5D second hit being an overhead, they don't tend to do changes to normals that much, especially in terms of, like, how fast they are. But there are a few things to note about Unlimited Izanami's normals. For one thing, I did notice, I'm not 100% sure on this, because they seem the same. Unlimited Izanami, or one of the Izanamis has air untechable time added to their 5B. It's not very much air untechable time either. It's fucking like 17 duration or whatever. The other one doesn't have anything like that on their 5B, but as you can see, if I set them both to jump and I anti-air with 5B, they both kind of tech at the same time, and generally you can get the same kind of follow-ups off of it too, like 5B, 5C, even 5B, like 2C, possibly. I think that worked too when I tested it out, so I'll let you guys be the judge of whether that is actually a difference or not, but I wanted to point it out because it was a discrepancy between the two files. Now for something much more noticeable, her 5C. This is a very, very, very subtle change, and I can see why anyone would normally mistake it for actually making her 5C faster, but that's not the case. You see, normal Izanami, 5C 2C is not a valid string. Izanami will the other Izanami will recover before 2C kicks, but for Unlimited Izanami, it's a valid string. And the reason for that is because her 5C isn't faster in any way, it actually just has a higher attack level. And I can actually give probably a vague explanation of what attack level is. Attack level is basically the priority and, like, base sort of power of the move. It affects how a move scales, I believe. It's its priority, and it adds more higher attack levels have more hits done by default. So Unlimited Izanami's 5C being attack level 4 instead of 3 lets her do 5C 2C, because her 2C isn't actually any faster either. And the only change between the two in both those moves is the attack level, so it's pretty easy to determine that the higher attack levels allows Unlimited Izanami to do 5C 2C here, and have it work. Moving on to 2C, and obviously something you probably noticed by now during the demonstration, Unlimited Izanami's 2C actually launches upwards on hit, even on the ground. Wow, regular Izanami is just kind of keeps you grounded, and then you can do 2CC for spin state. 2CC on Unlimited doesn't actually seem to really connect as easily without a time delay and proper spacing. Sorry, I'm really, really, really not good with Izanami. I wanted to play this character. Yes, I know, I'm a scumbag, but, like, I've wanted her in the game since I started playing BlazBlue with CSE. And I saw her in story mode, and I'm like, she's totally gonna be playable at some point. So imagine the way I lit up when I saw that it got confirmed that she was going to be playable in this game, and then I realized, oh, she takes skill to play. She has hard execution. I'm screwed. Guess I'll just stay a bullet player. Enough of that tangent, though. Another really, really, really minor change that has to do with the normals. This is actually the third to last change we'll go over with the normals. 6B can actually go into 5D on block instead of just hit, so... As you can see, 6B 5D works on hit for both Izanamis, but for regular Izanami, I'm mashing D, and she doesn't do it until after she recovers from 6B being blocked. But Unlimited, right after it gets blocked, can just go into 5D. Not really sure, truthfully, what sort of application this has. I literally went over Izanami's changes yesterday, wrote them all down, and started recording this today. So, didn't do extensive testing on everything. Well, I did for the most part, but just not that. So, I imagine it might have the potential to make block 6B safer in some way, but that's just a theory. So, speaking of 5D, or rather her D projectiles as a whole, something unique to note is that her D projectiles, namely 4D, they make a second pass after they shoot out. 6D does not. Generally, everything that isn't her 6D, I believe, will actually make a second pass after being shot out, and then come back to Izanami, which allows her to control much more of the screen much more easily compared to just having them shoot once, and then I think they actually seem to come back faster too. Or maybe, I think it's actually just the second pass of the shots covering the recovery downtime that would normally take place when she fires 4D. Because the projectiles come back, and then it's like not much longer before they come back to her as a whole. Let's see, speaking of 4D, oh yes, this probably applies to her other ones too, but this is mainly just something I noticed with this one. Unlimited Izanami's 4D will actually go full screen. So she actually is even better of a zoner in that department due to that. And that's all for normal change. We're actually about halfway through, I believe, with the change list here. No, more like a third. More like a third. God, I'm gonna hate Nine's video. It's gonna take forever. Maybe not as long as a Super Boss showcase, but that's gonna be a long one, folks, so be ready for that one. That'll probably be next week, I'm not gonna lie. In any case, back to our girl here. We're moving on to her specials, and this is a lot of the more obvious stuff that you can probably see just by watching people fight her on videos on YouTube here. For example, her Flaming Dome Meteor special, her half circle forward C. It's always max level. I would turn off Danger State now. As you can see, normal Izanami has to charge it, and it becomes big. And then it does a lot of hits. Unlimited Izanami doesn't have to do that shit. She just summons it and throws it. And I think it actually even does slightly more damage because the damage buff might actually carry over. Or it might not. I think they actually do the same amount of damage. Because damage buffs on characters seem to work really weird when applied to projectiles. Truthfully, all the projectile data is actually stored in a separate file within the character, so that probably explains why. But yeah, her Flaming Dome is fully charged. If you want a comparison, I can actually just set normal Izanami to... There we go. So we'll have them charged at the same time here. As you can see, Unlimited is already at max size by the time it starts. Next up, Thunderbolt Lance, her 214A and 214B. So this is another interesting thing, in that this is actually included in her overhead float thing. So if I turn off the Danger State, if I turn off her Shield of Dreams, and I have her block crouching, and normal Izanami does Thunderbolt Lance A version, she can block it. If Unlimited Izanami goes into float and does the same thing, it's an overhead. So that is also included in her float changes for her how her float is handled for attacks. And in addition to that, Unlimited Izanami can also quote-unquote jump cancel on block or hit to, obviously since Izanami doesn't have a double jump, it doesn't actually work like that. It's more like a float cancel, less than a jump cancel, and then she can like air dash forward. Shit. And do stuff like that. Which I believe if you do that on normal Izanami... Yeah, she can't... Yeah, she has to fucking do her slow-ass ground dash forward. And also, she attacks afterwards. Oh. Huh, yeah, I actually didn't write that down. Oh, and also, so I guess I might as well point it out now. Unlimited Izanami's Thunderbolt Lance has a small wall bounce from mid-screen, also in the corner too, so you can actually combo off it in the corner. And probably get more than 3k in Danger State if you're better than me at this character. Huh, yeah, I might as well note that down, actually. Basically for my own reference. And another thing I did by accident just now is, in the case of 214A and 214B, if you hold the button down, so A or B depending on which one you do, so the mid strike for A and the low is the B version. If you hold down A or B, Izanami will actually warp behind the opponent before executing the attack, which can be for tricky last-second cross-ups. This actually does have a max range. It does not go full screen, so it's not super cheese, but as you can see, she still will reach full screen to hit the enemy with her palm strike or her sweep, because she'll teleport right directly in front of them, essentially, just not behind them. Huh. Yeah, and I guess that extends her range, too, due to the teleports just moving her so far forward before attacking. So, yeah, I guess if you hold down the button from full screen, too, you can do full screen sweep or full screen wall bounce palm strike. Can't really get much of a follow-up off that. You can on counter hit. Speaking of counter hit, it actually does... Oh, yeah! Okay, so yeah, Thunderbolt Lance wall bounces without counter hit. Shit. Yeah, you can tell I don't play this character. I like this character, but I don't play this character. Another interesting change here. Now, next for Ghost Peak Strike 236A, or her Ghost Tyrannosaurus head. Unlimited Izanami's Ghost Peak Strike is actually slower than normal. However, the dinosaur itself is much larger, as you can see, and hits 3 times. And actually has a higher base damage of 100, doing 900 base damage compared to 800, although this is obviously... Actually, let me turn off Danger State. That's probably what makes it do more damage. I'm stupid. Oh, restart. Oh, 990. Yeah, her damage bonus does carry over to projectiles. Alright, then. So, as you can see, it does 990. Between having 100 more base damage and then being added by her 10% damage bonus she has just across the board. So, it's slower, but it hits 3 times. In addition, if you hold down the A button while she's, like, before it launches, she'll actually teleport forward, and in better cases, I think you can just link a 5A off of it. If you're close enough. Before the teleport. Yeah, before the teleport, if you're close enough and you hold A to... Yeah. Obviously, you can do much better than that, but I can't manage something on short notice. Talking so much really kills my throat, man. I do it for you guys, though. It has to be done. Is that all for Ghost Peak Strike? I believe so. Yes. Next up, Arms of Sympathy, her air special, half circle back, and B. In a similar manner, but not entirely identical way to her Thunderbolt Lance series, if you hold B during Arms of Sympathy, Izanami will feint the attack and just teleport straight down to the ground. Can't really be certain, because it's nothing I've extensively tested, if this is safer than having the move blocked. Oh yeah, because you can't really do anything off of it if it's blocked, or even if you get a hit on it, because you can't, like, air dash off of it. But the pushback from hitting, or I guess the block stun would not be able to keep them at bay for long enough for them to just dash up and hit you while you're falling, so maybe this is safer if you're certain they're going to block it. You can do, like, it's basically like a pseudo fastball. It's not super fast, but it still does, like, instantly make you go to the ground no matter how high you are. And it can actually obviously be used for pretty stupid cross-ups if you're in the right position when you do it. Bulwark! Coming back to Bulwark. So, a fun thing about Bulwark, and I'm not sure precisely how this goes down, it doesn't really matter actually either, because she can only use this if she has her shield active, but Bulwark actually has less invincibility on Unlimited than normal Izanami. Very, very slightly less, like around possibly less than a frame even, of invulnerability, because it's not directly when the move starts, it's slightly after the move starts, but like the first sprite animation that plays, basically. is when the invincibility kicks in rather than from the very start of the move as she's, like, before she even starts it. And in addition to that, yeah, like I said, it doesn't really matter because she can only use it when the barrier's active anyway, so it's really not gonna... The barrier is more likely gonna eat whatever meaty thing hits her than Bulwark in the first place. And another thing to note is it's actually slightly weaker in this regard as well, in that... And the best way to show this is to actually put the barrier at half here. And then put it back to full so it actually go up. Unlimited Izanami. Oh, shit. I forgot. The barrier ate the hit. Unlimited Izanami. Fuck. God damn it, I'm messing everything up. She actually gets back half the amount of barrier on successful hit with Bulwark. Compared to normal. So if we actually... this is going to be hard to do. Because obviously she has her shield up at all times. Huh. Shit. Okay, I can't really show it, unfortunately, because of the circumstances surrounding her shield here. And the fact they both can't have their barriers up. Oh, yeah, they can. I'm stupid. Just turn that down, and then put it back up, and then... I set to infinite by accident because I'm stupid. Why, Seth? As you can see, she gets back probably about... Yeah, literally, I'll just say it. She gets back half as much barrier. Unlimited gets back half as much barrier off of hitting Bulwark than normal Izanami does. So it's not necessarily... I imagine that's to prevent her from just spamming it on you and just keeping her shield up at all times, because her Shield of Dreams doesn't decrease over time, like... Whoops. Like normal Izanami's either. As you can see, her barrier is constantly going down. Normal Izanami just sits there, looking pretty, with her shield just active at all times without taking any resource drain whatsoever. So it's probably to, like, soft handicap her in that way so that she can't just... She has a harder time just keeping it up at all times. Especially involving the next change that we have with Distant Affection, her half-circle back C command grab. Which, similar to Thunderbolt Lance, has an invincible teleport, except you have to hold the button for this one, giving it more range. And it also does twice as much damage, as the normal command grab on normal Izanami does 1,000. You can clearly see that Unlimited does 2,000, along with having more range because of the dash that is granted to it. Sorry to take a second to read the list there. Doesn't actually absorb any more barrier or anything like that, despite having more damage. I think it might absorb more health, I'm not sure though. Let's give it a whirl. Oops. Oh, shit. Right, default. And I have to set the health back to max. Fuck. I'm so bad at this right now! Okay. Now, shit. I need to actually generate player 2, and then put her back down to 80. Good God, Seth. Okay. Yeah, the health drain seems about the same. The amount of barrier gain is the same as well. Just wanted to make doubly sure. And, like her Thunderbolt Lances, she can actually hold C to teleport behind the opponent before doing the grab. And, awkwardly enough, similar to 214A, it has the same kind of float cancel option that 214A has during the float. Shit. Well, obviously I have to have Izanami jump into this. Shit. This is gonna be hard. Motherfucker. Yeah, see, she can cancel her float instantly. And yeah, that's about it. All right, home stretch, people. This awkward recording session is about to be over. Thank God, because I feel like I'm doing a really shitty job at this. Like shittier than normal, even. Oh, my throat hurts. That's probably for the best. Next up, her D specials, starting with Orchid. Orchid is very special and very noticeably different because it stays out longer all around and actually just pops up in front of Izanami. Oh, that's Droplet. Orchid is half circle back in D. And actually holding D during Orchid will allow you to move it around. Or you can just leave it right there and it'll stay there if you let go of D. So probably better overall if you get that 3C knockdown, you just leave it there in your corner pressure compared to normal Izanami, who sends it out and moves forward, and it only does 6 hits? 6 hits. Well, Unlimited Izanami's Orchid can do up to 10 hits. And obviously having it just stay out in front of her leaves it better for meeting people after a knockdown and being able to move it around once you just send it at people like a razor blade, a saw blade of death that just runs forward and plows through just about everything. Is that it? Yeah, so it stays out longer, does more hits, and you can move it around by holding D. Is basically the easy explanation for it. Droplet. This move, half circle forward D. The drones will fire twice instead of just once. And the drones themselves are actually quicker to fire as a whole. And obviously the best way to show you this is to have them both do droplet at the same time. Shit. I'll actually turn off barriers so you can see when the successful hit happens. Shit. There we go. As you can see, Unlimited Izanami's drones fire first. And hit twice. Which gives her a bit more advantage in that regard as well. And yeah, next up we'll go over those new teleports she had in slightly more detail. There isn't really much to go over, but we're going to do it anyways. So Unlimited Izanami has 4 different command quote-unquote teleports, although one isn't really a teleport. But so first we have 2-2A. Teleports her forward. Obviously she's invincible while she's invisible and warping. She's vulnerable after she reappears. 2-2B is the same thing, but makes her go backwards. And you can't really cancel teleports into each other, but they are kind of fast. They're not, like, obnoxious like 9s, though, so I feel like they're kind of more than a novelty than anything, because I haven't really seen the AI use these for much in general. 2-2C, on the other hand, is much more fun, because she does Kanji, round start dive, distant affection. She'll teleport and then just drop out of the sky and attempt to catch the opponent with distant affection. Does little less damage, as you can see. It does 1925 instead of 2000, but it is distant affection through and through. And works the same way as that attack as a whole. Is there anything else noteworthy of that? Yeah, actually similar to Kanji's dive from Persona even. This will actually whiff on crouching characters. But yeah, obviously that's it's easy to see why this would probably be my favorite change they've done to her. It's also pretty cheesy. I think you can actually you can catch airborne characters with this too. Yeah, kind of like that. So it's actually a combo grab as well. Like Kanji's dive. It's basically Kanji's dive, but it also heals her and restores her barrier on hit. And doesn't have the range of Kanji B dive. It's more like Kanji A dive. And you can do it from the ground. Or from float. 2-2D, the really, really odd one out. 2-2D is actually a counter-attack. Where Izanami will disable her barrier. You can actually, holding D doesn't extend the parry duration, so it actually lasts this long regardless. She'll disable her barrier and kind of just stand there in that pose of hers. And if she gets attacked during this time, she'll teleport behind the opponent. Not super duper useful unless they hit you with like a C move, because otherwise I'm pretty sure they can just block it. Let's actually check to be sure. Okay, now you can get a punish off that, but if you just parry like a 5A or something. Oh, you can punish that too. Alright, never mind. Parry all the 5A's you want. If you hold down the button while you're countering, however, yeah, I'm actually going to set her to do a 5B here. If you hold down the D button while you're parrying, though, Izanami will have droplets summoned around her victim that hit her, and it will zap them, and that'll make it easier to actually get some hits off of it. One more thing to note is that this counter actually also beats out projectiles as well, so I will have normal Izanami do 4D. And if you parry a projectile, Izanami will actually send out Orchid instead. And Orchid works as normal, hitting 10 times, and you can move it around while she's sort of doing her taunt animation there. And one last thing to note, I guess, is that the parry in general will just beat everything that isn't a grab. So anything that's not a grab, a high, a low, a projectile, all that loses to her 2-2D parry here. Grabs will go right through it, though. Which, generally, because of her shield being active, grabs are basically your main option against fighting Unlimited Izanami regardless, so doesn't really change all that much. And now, last but not least, we move on to her distortion changes, and there are a few, and her overdrive, etc., and another odd detail I found. So, odd detail number 1. Unlike, once again, like all the Unlimiteds in Chrono Phantasma, and Ragna in this game is still like he was in Chrono Phantasma. Izanami's distortions are not the overdrive versions by default, as evidenced here, and I will show you, by first performing Stake of Supremacy with a normal Izanami. And you can compare here. So that is a normal Stake of Supremacy. Here's overdrive. Adds more hits generally in the barrage, therefore the Darkness Slash. Now here's Unlimited Izanami. As you can see, it's the same 3 hits and then the dive into the Claw Slash as the normal version. So, not really sure why they kept Ragna the same, but didn't do overdrive distortions by default for 9 and Izanami both. It's not exactly a hard thing to do either, obviously, so just another one of those enigmas in the Arc System Works balancing team, I suppose, or whoever worked on this. But Stake of Supremacy does have one benefit in the Limited, obviously, in that being Unlimited Izanami Stake of Supremacy teleports behind the opponent before having her kick them upward. Which means it works as a full-screen punish option anywhere. Can I punish a whiffed 5A with this? Probably not. Probably a whiff 5B, but maybe not a 5A. Shit. Oh my god. Hold on. Did that... Could she actually not block that? Shit. Fuck. Fuck. It's quarter circle forward twice. Okay, yeah, there we go. I can't hit, apparently, L2 and... Okay, yeah, there we go. So you can punish a whiff 5B from basically anywhere on the screen. You can just use that... Oh, no, you have to be in float to use it in the air. But yeah, she'll track the opponent no matter where they are, appear behind them, kick them in the air for the move, which makes it a lot better, obviously, and easier to combo into as a whole from even just stray hits like her drive projectiles. Does that work? Hold on. Yes, it does! So, yeah, she can basically just confirm a stray hit off of anywhere in Stake of Supremacy. Yeah, I'll just go over that at the end. So, Hour of Nihility, or her quarter circle back twice and then see her super grab. She actually has more invincibility. It's still not frame 1, I don't think. However, it is a lot sooner in the move. And it's before the Super Flash. So normal Izanami has invincibility once the Super Flash hits there in the Super Grab. But Unlimited Izanami has it before the Super Flash. Not the moment the move begins, but before the Super Flash. So it is going to beat out a lot more stuff because of that. And it actually is slightly faster to start up than normal Izanami's as well. And by slight, I mean very, very slight. Like probably not even a full frame. Faster, but obviously the best way to demonstrate is to have them both do the move at the same time. And this is going to be a little hard to time here. As you can see. The throw just comes out faster for Unlimited. As a whole. That's literally it for that, really. Moment of Benevolence! Her 720A 100-meter time stop distortion. This actually is drastically better. In every way. Because, well, the only real thing you can do to it besides make it last longer, which it doesn't, the change they did to Moment of Benevolence is that actually is faster to activate. And by faster, I mean considerably faster. Like, especially in overdrive. So, once again, the best way to show is to side-by-side compare here. This one's a lot more of a pain in the ass because I have to do 720 motions for both characters, and the easy way to do that is to just have them both taunt first. There we go. And as you can see, Unlimited Izanami's activates first. And now for the... Oh, actually, let's do another test at the moment. Is normal Izanami's overdrive version faster? Fuck, I didn't do that fast enough. Damn, Unlimited is actually faster than the overdrive version of the normal one, too. And this actually extends to Unlimited's overdrive version, because her overdrive version is also even faster. Watch this. Literally, as soon as she curls up into the orb, it activates. Which is nuts. So there's almost no way to stop her from doing it if she has shield up. And she's in overdrive with a 100-meter. So that makes time stop drastically better as a whole. And lastly, for her overdrive kind of as a whole here, as I mentioned, it's more or less the same as her normal form. It lets her use her D attacks without having to go into her active mode. But, it also reactivates her barrier, her Shield of Dreams and her barrier gauge, regardless of what she's at. So if I actually set her barrier to 0, and then let it slowly regenerate back up a little bit, if I activate Overdrive, it actually pops her barrier back up into active state, and by extension activates her Shield of Dreams. So, Overdrive really is like a massive comeback mechanic for her. When you think you have her steamrolled, her barrier's down, she's getting low, she just pops Overdrive, activates her shield, hits 100-meter time stop that activates near instantly and just wrecks you. And the last thing I have to go over for Izanami here, to end this 43-minute long showcase, good god, that's partially from me going on my weird tangents, I apologize. And another factor supporting the theory that this is still initial release Izanami, her Exceed Excel does not have the 10% minimum damage that they did to all Exceed Excels starting in 2.0 here. Not to say it does less base damage overall, obviously with a 10% damage bonus, Unlimited Izanami is going to do more with her Exceed Excel, but that aside, it's not going to be as good in combos, maybe not. Maybe the extra damage will balance it out, but, yeah, that basically sums up, Unlimited Izanami. Basically, the final boss character I'd always hoped for in BlazBlue, so I'll be honest, as annoyed that I am that we didn't get all the old Unlimiteds back, and that we didn't get Unlimiteds for, like, Hibiki and them, which I guess isn't totally a bad thing. It had me give the opportunity to make my own here, so that's always fun. But, I was very, very happy to not only see Izanami put into Central Fiction, but to see that she had a boss form as crazy broken and strong as she is. Do I wish she was more broken? Kind of. Yes, I know, I'm gonna get fucking... I'm gonna have a riot, freaking riot outside my house for saying that. But yes, I do wish that Unlimited Izanami were just a tad bit more overtuned. But in general, I'm very, very happy with how she turned out. I'm very happy that she's in the game, contrary to most people I know, but I just love her so much in the story. I miss her English voice so much. I'm tempted to try and string together a full voice set just off of her Highlander Assault quotes, which is only like 20 lines. It's not gonna work, but obviously I'm tempted to still try. Maybe I'll upload a clip or something with a dubbed Astral. I can do that probably. I can fix up a couple lines from Highlander Assault to work for her Astral, I'm sure. With that out of the way, speaking of Astrals, the only thing really left to do is to end the video off with one of those. Next week will probably be an in-depth look in the same fashion of Unlimited 9, which is going to be extremely disgusting. So if you hate 9, like I do, probably don't watch that because it's going to make you have even more disgust for her boss form than you probably already do. Without further ado, I'll catch you all in the next upload. So I try to hit the sick Astral with a very complicated command, or less complicated. I can probably hit it on the first try. Nope. Okay, hold on. Oh, she's not on low health. That's why it's not working, you dipshit. There we go.